there you, and welcome to an Imperial Guard scouting force that's about to be engaged by a Tyranid swarm. Will the Kriegers and their artillery be able to hold back the Tyranid swarms, or will more biomass be assimilated into their ranks? As always, if you do enjoy this content, do leave a like and consider subscribing, as that's the best way to support the channel. But now, let's get on with the slaughter. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, promising to be a very spicy fight that we've got here for you today. And already that Imperial Guard artillery comes raining down into the massed Tyranid swarm here. Oh my, sending poor little Hormigauds scattering it through the air here. Now, you might notice that we don't really use Tyranids much on this channel, and there's a simple reason for that. Sometimes their AI tends to break and it completely ruins the fight. So let's hope today that the AI lords are looking kindly upon us, and hopefully the Tyranids and Snapsies here will not break. I mean, just look at them. They're always magnificent here to see. Artillery, though, the king of the battlefield. Look at this, they're charging in. So we're about to get our initial engagement here now. The Imperial Guard have set up a defensive formation here. We have got conscripts on the front line. They are backed up by the Kriegers and their artillery, and we have got some more conscripts here in the village holding that as well. Now, it's kind of ironic here, because the conscripts on the front line are probably sat here thinking, those lucky Krieger sods, they get to sit on the back line, just laying down covering fire. And rather ironically, the Kriegers are probably sat there going, them lucky conscripts, they get to be sat on the front line, engaging the enemy in melee combat. And oh my, look at the Tyranid swarm. It's closing that gap despite the insane losses here. 130,000 losses, and the Tyranids close the gap here. The sharp blades trying to rip through the Imperial Guard flak armor. And that's a terrified sight. Oh, I would not like to be an Imperial Guardsman right now on the front line. That looks brutal. The insane swarm of chitin here coming at you. Now look at this, the Tyranids are trying to break around the flank. This will be good. They've definitely got the numbers to try and outflank the Imperials here, but that overlapping firepower is having a solid effect on them at the moment. 200,000 kills now rapidly approaching here for the Imperial Guard. Tyranids are struggling to push this a little further, but look, actually, no, on this side of the line, they are having a little bit of success. The Warriors here coming in. Oh, he got blasted down at point blank range. But they have completely swarmed the Imperial Guard line now. There is no breathing room. A swarm of death has just landed right upon them. Oh, you poor Imperial conscripts. Just, yeah, I was about to say, just hope that the artillery comes raining down on them and helps you, because at the moment you are getting chopped up rather nicely. The Tyranid swarm unrelenting here, rapid in its movement. It's just swarming all over the Imperials. Look at this. They're trying to push so many units around the flank as well. That's kind of insane now. The Hive Tyrants have yet to make their way to the field. However, these bad boys are going to be taking a lot of damage. You can see all the stray bullets that are missing the front line. Well, they'll be happening to hit the poor Hive Tyrants. Oh, one goes down there before it even got to the front. The artillery securing a couple more there. I love this Hormigauds swarm, though. It looks so cool. They are absolutely ravenous beasts here. And of course, for the Tyranids, it doesn't matter how many they lose as long as they win the battle, because it'll all go back into the swarm. Oh my god, they're actually breaking through the conscript line here. They're getting real close. You can see the Kriegers up here. They're quite happy about this. All right, yeah, break through the conscript line. Come to us. We've got some shovels for your faces. I love that the artillery is just scattering things through the air, though. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Now, I was about to say, yeah, it looks like the division in the center here has activated. They're on guard mode, so they're going to be quite proactive in trying to defend these flanks here. So hopefully with them on guard mode, if the Tyranids start trying to outflank this rear position, these Imperials should hopefully be enough to keep them in place. I mean, you can see that the Tyranids are starting to probe this area now. They're trying to push around the first line of conscripts, which is starting to get this magnificent wall of bodies that's slowly building up around it. But the relentless assault continues here. Oh, coming up to 10,000 losses for the Imperials, and it feels like the Tyranids have pretty much broken through this frontier now. They're distracted by a couple more guardsmen, but yeah, ultimately, At least this front line has been broken. The Tyranid swarms are making their way through. There's still 2 million of them. Oh my god. We've killed 400,000. We've barely put a dent in them. But they've almost overwhelmed the front line. And look at this now. They're pushing through into the Kriegers. But their Hellbore rifles here are very strong. The Tyranids are going to have a little bit of struggle with this. But that is just a horrific sight. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Tyranids are one of the most terrifying enemies to come against. Just even with this, like the basic advanced swarm here, it is just a nasty sight. Sheer unrelenting hordes. It's the same with the Orcs. I have the same feeling with the Orcs. Look at this though, it looks like a couple of guardsmen here are trying to break off to the side and lure a few of the Tyranids away from the main line. I mean, the bodies are really starting to build up across this battlefield now. Luckily, the Tyranid AI has not broken yet, so we can still keep going here. And it seems like a fair fight now. Now, I'm kind of interested that most of the Hive Tyrants are making their way to that front. It seems like the firepower that's coming out is just too much for them. Yeah, but I will say this, they're absorbing a lot of bullets here for all the other units. You can see that they get to about this point here, and then all the stray bullets that are missing the front line are just hitting them, and it's becoming too much. But look at this, the Tyranid line is extending here now. The Mobile Defense Force in the center has basically spread out as far as it can. Oh my god, the bodies are building up here nicely. This is both good and bad. It's good because it means we're killing a lot of Tyranids. It's bad because it'll form a defensive wall that the soldiers will not be able to shoot through. And that'll give cover to all the units behind them. Oh my god, look at that. That's terrifying. They're just swarming over the corpses here. They are just disintegrated before they get to the front line. But the Tyranids' armor here does allow them some deflection, so they can bounce bullets back into the Krieger line. Which, of course, when they get this close, is extremely deadly. Now, the Tyranids are trying to push this far flank, but I don't know if they've got enough units to do this. I mean, that's kind of insane to say because, you know, there's 1.7 million on the field still. But yeah, look at that. They're all focusing down into this area. That might be really good for the Imperials. That'll help them focus that firepower. And focused firepower is the strongest. Looks like we've actually got a little bit of breathing room on this side. Again, probably because we've still got a few Imperials here. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. I'm worried a bit in particular about this end. Look at all these bodies that are piling up now. The Kriegers are putting up a magnificent defense. Oh, look at this. We've actually got a Hive Tyrant that almost made its way. I think that's the closest one's got so far. Now, they do have a couple of Hive Guardians as well in here, who are long range, but it looks like most of them have been killed too as well at this point. That's a lot of firepower coming out of Imperial lines. I'm a little bit worried, though. This flank is extending further and further now. And they're pushing hard. Can the Imperials hold on to this? I don't know. It's going to be a risky battle. Look at this. They're carving into the flank as well. They're actually getting a little bit pincer maneuvered here. That artillery has also been largely destroyed thanks to the deflections. All the bullets. Yeah, look at that. So, bullets that are getting deflected from the front line destroyed all the artillery. There's no artillery. It's all gone. Oh, no. Oh, that could be a critical blow here. So have we got enough infantry firepower to hold back this Tyranid horde? There's 1.5 million Tyranids still on the field here. There's 25,000 defenders. With the artillery gone, this is going to be one hell of a tough defense here. I mean, just look at the endless waves of Tyranids that are now assaulting the Krieger line. Again, we've got a little bit of breathing room in sections. That's excellent news. But this area, I mean, the terrain was not favouring the defenders, to be honest, on this little area, specifically this little part here. And the Tyranids are fully trying to utilise that fact. I mean, these warriors as well can take such a punishment. These Tyranid warriors on this side, I mean, yeah. They've also got really high deflection as well, so any of the bullets that are hitting them, there's a good 50-50 chance that some of them are actually being flung back. But actually, what could be really good here for the defenders is we've started getting this little blood pool that's appearing. So while we have made a wall of bodies, if we can create a little blood pool on the inside, it can become impassable. That would help the defenders to keep the Tyranids at bay just that little bit longer. But again, the losses are getting a bit stupendous here now for the Imperials. They're down to 21,000 troops. They've been pinned in here. The mobile defense force is no longer mobile. Oh, look at this. Oh, that is a complete collapse. Oh, that is devastating. They've just come right through the village. The entire Imperial flank collapsed there. We are starting to get these little blood pools, and look at that. Oh, that is truly terrifying. A million odd Tyranids just swarming towards you. Yep. Wouldn't want to be in the Imperial Guard's shoes right now. We are starting to get these little body piles, though, and the blood pools. These... We need it more. It's not enough. I mean, I don't think there's any chance on this side. Not anytime soon. And just look at that swarm still coming in. It's almost like we've barely put a dent in it, even though we've killed a million of them. What we really need to be able to do is break one of these flanks. If we can kill all the reinforcements coming into one of these flanks over here, we might actually be able to stand a chance of holding back the Tyranids. But it's looking grim. It is probably all going to come down to our Kriegers. They're doing a magnificent job so far. Oh, but yeah. I mean, there's not even words that can describe the true horror of what is actually going on the battlefield here. Like, if this was real, this would just be the most nastiest, brutal thing ever. Oh, look at that, though. That entire flank has really collapsed. The Tyranids are swarming the units in now. No, we're not actually getting boxed in just yet. The Tyranids not able to push enough units in to completely close off the escape avenue, but it is certainly getting that way. Don't know how much longer this Imperial defense can last out. I don't think we're going to be able to do this. I'm starting to have doubts. I mean, especially with these Hive Tyrants now lumbering their way forward. I mean, we are taking them out, though. That is the good news. Somehow these Kriegers on the front are holding out. It's magnificent. They've been doing it for ages as well. That's the thing. And it doesn't look like they've taken too much of a dent in terms of numbers here. I think most of the casualties that we've been suffering have been the mobile defense force who've been moving around the back. I mean, most of them are still here, squished between the Kriegers. So they are actually covering the Kriegers back at the moment. But yeah, this flank is getting chewed up and spat out ever so slowly. But it has cost the Tyranids significant numbers so far, 1.2 million. The Imperials have almost gotten through half of the army. But I do think the final pincer maneuver is starting to come in here. With these two exits now getting sealed off, look at this, the Tyranids are pouring them units in. They want to seal the final escape avenue here for the Imperials. They want to make sure that all this biomass is collected and re-assimilated. There's an evolution of warfare to be had here after all. Oh, I just love it. I can't get over the Tyranids, man. And the AI is actually not broken, which is fantastic news for us, because we've actually got a somewhat fair fight here. I mean, it's not been too fair for the Imperials. They didn't quite have enough firepower, and it's a little bit sad that the artillery got taken out by the deflections. I think if the artillery was still going, this would be a totally different fight here. I mean, look at all the blood that's pooling up underneath the Imperial defense here. Oh, that is terrifying. There's so many Tyranids. But we are still making our way through it. Even with the last 5,000 here, we're inflicting massive casualties upon the Tyranids. I don't know if it's worth it, but this is now just for honor. It is just take as many of the Tyranids to the grave as possible. Oh, no. Oh, you just wouldn't want to be in there, would you? Even some of the Kriegers have got to be regretting the life choices at this point. Pincered on either side by a Tyranid swarm. No thank you. I mean, the good news is that you'll be turned into sushi relatively quickly. Yeah, they'll probably just sever you up, and then you'll be dissolved in acid and sent up to the mothership, and you know, you'll take on a very new form of life here. I mean, they've got to replace the Hive Tyrants here somehow. Yeah, the gap is finally closing, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, the Imperials here, they've got a little trick up their sleeve, unbeknownst to the Tyranids. The Imperials say, no, you're not going to collect this biomass. We're going to eradicate it all. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you had a blast. I know I did. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. A massive shout out to all you channel members who help to keep this channel going. And if you're not a channel member, why the heck not? Click the join button down below. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out the amazing Chainsaw Vengeance hoodies available now in the ChaoticPinky store. Get them while stocks last. With all that being said, as always, until next time, peace.